Hi, it's Lionel, your tech lead and partner at Westford, and today I got a special video for you guys. Okay, usually I don't post anything in between 2 weeks, but I just had to get out and post something about all the stress and all the fear that everyone has out there in the markets, in the economy, and in your health. I mean, we are talking obviously about the COVID-19 that is spreading throughout the world. Surprise, surprise, not big news there. Now, I've been going on to LinkedIn, I've been looking at all the posts coming from a lot of people, and I noticed that there seems to be a lack of something positive coming from what people are posting. Either some sort of oh dear, so sad, or something like that. What I wanted to do today, right, is actually give you guys 3 tips to handle crises and events that happen like this. Okay? Now, I've been running a business for a while, but I've also hit my share of the downs and the slopes, and some of them have been really, really severe. I'm not even sure that I would survive some of them. I don't want to go and give you an example of what those things are. They involve some sort of cancer. That's pretty serious stuff. But what I want to do is take what I've learned from that experience and see if I can share with you guys and see if you can make use of this ability to get yourself through this crisis and not feel so bad about stuff. So the first thing I want you guys to do, first point, is stop sensationalizing crisis. Okay? Stop using the word crisis. The fact of the matter is these are cycles. These things happen. It's not like they never happened ever before. The last time was the H1N1 that had 100 million plus people infected. Before was SARS. There was the bird flu, Hong Kong flu. There's been earthquakes and all that kind of stuff. It's just the way it works. And the faster you realize that, right, and the faster you stop calling this a once in a lifetime or once in a the faster you can realize this is par for the course, and you can stop sensationalizing it. Now, I'm not just being brutal about this. There are real reasons for this. The first thing is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think something is bad, more likely it will be bad. Our lives are very much governed by the way we think about things. Very important. So our lives are very much governed by the way that we think about things. The guy who's always looking at a glass half full versus the guy who's always looking for a glass half empty. So that's the first thing you need to do. You need to change your mindset. Instead of going around saying, "Oh, this is a crisis," you say, "Oh, this is par for the course." And additional to this point is stop looking at data. Okay? As a statistician, I'm going to tell you that. A lot of people today we have lots of data, lots of graphs, infographics, all that kind of stuff. And somehow, right, that by looking at it, they think they are somehow being more connected, or there's some information out there. As a statistician, let me tell you the truth. There's something called sufficiency. Okay? At a certain point in time, there is no more additional information that more data is going to give you. What you're going to do is just drive yourself crazy. This is 300, this. People love to talk about numbers. 10,000 in the US, 500 people dead, blah, 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 blah. Now, what this does, right, is that if you don't know how to perspectivize and understand data, right, it can scare you. Now, as a statistician, I am a qualified statistician, okay? I want to tell you that data is very scary. And it's so scary that one day when we first were learning data, right, and my experience with data, we were playing around with something called the survivorship bias and survivorship graph one. And we were all having a good time. We were looking at it and seeing all the different patterns that were coming out of the data as a statistician, until we learned that that was actually real data from real hospitals. And you don't want to see a survivorship curve that goes, it's very, very scary. Once you start, once you're comfortable and you experience that, to us, that was like working in a hospital, actually looking at real people that really died and become a statistic. If you don't know how to handle that, you will be bombed by the media. You'll be bombed by data that's overflowing you. It's not helping you whatsoever. The fact of the matter is these things are still very, very small. If you just looked at the statistics of ways that you could die, right, you would be absolutely mortified to go out there. So my take is stop looking at that, start looking at the positive side. Okay, point two now, right, is don't wish for the winds to change. Wish for the wisdom to set a better sail. This is a Jim Rohn quote. And I think this is so relevant in this time. Hoping that something is going to happen, that things are going to change, is at best naive, at worst very foolish. I don't try to do that. What you want to do, right, is say, what can I do to change my sales? Forget about what happened where you were. Try to figure out what you can do to mitigate this stuff. And this means that powerful word, pivoting and changing that. So I'm going to talk about later on about that, but I want you to think about that. Don't think about somehow someone's going to do this. Think about what you can do for yourself. Somehow, by doing that, that just gives you a sense of control, and that's very important. Now, the last point I want to talk about is step by step. Okay, small steps. I know. This looks overwhelming for a lot of people. Lots of changes, lots of stuff happening. The only way you can fix any big problem is one step at a time. Okay, I know you're thinking in my head in our life, what can I do? This is overwhelmingly crazy. So forget about all that stuff, right? You're probably at home, maybe you're quarantined, maybe you're stuck. What can you do? And my first example, right, let's talk about the Rocky series. If you remember, there was this guy, Drogo, where Rocky was trying to beat him. And he was so tough. The first 2 rounds, he was so tough. And then the coach said, Rocky, cut him. Just cut him. And that's what you want to do. You want to cut this COVID virus. You want to punch back and make a small impact. So what can you do to do that? That's a good question. But you could start really small. You could say, okay, instead of feeling bad today, I am going for a walk. Okay? If I can't walk outside my house, I will walk around my house. I will walk 20 times around my house. So I want you guys to think about that. You know, me, the Westfall, we're not sticking still here. No way, we're not. We have come out with lots of initiatives non-stop every day. I will tell you guys all about all these initiatives to help out the crisis, to help out recovering from the crisis, and also to help you guys as well. So I'm the tech lead, and that's the bottom line because the tech lead said so.